Let's try this again, shall we? Episode 2 of A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms is called Hard Salt Beef. No spoilers for the future of Dunk and Egg, but if I do, I'll warn you first. Oh no, Arlan's penis is ginormous. What are the lore implications of this?
Maybe it really is all cocks in the end.
Also, why does this shot look exactly like Jorah covering up his grayscale arm?
This is seizure! This is theft!
This guy is Lord Leo Tyrell, nicknamed Longthorn for the length of his thorn, I suppose. He's Lord of Highgarden, ancestor of Mace the Ace, but IMDb calls him Sir Leo, not Lord Leo. So maybe in the show he's just the heir to Highgarden? Or IMDb is stupid, mayhaps. Oh, also I'm stupid because last episode I read IMDb wrong. This character's name is Red, not Leah the Lovely. Leah the Lovely is this other lady next to Red and Manfred Dondarrion. Red is played by Rowan Robinson, and to be completely honest for a sec, this might be the most beautiful woman I have ever seen. I hope she comes back in Season 2 to play Rohan Weber. Anywho, back to Leo Tyrell. He was a major Targaryen ally during the First Blackfire Rebellion, and he won some battles in the Reach but was unable to make it in time to participate in the Redgrass Field, the climactic battle of the entire war. The late Lord Leo Tyrell, you could call him. The war in which Baelor and Maekar became famous. I mean, they're princes, so they were already famous, but you know what I mean. This intro scene of Aerion Brightflame is exquisite. It's almost word for word from the book, proving that George Martin's dialogue is pretty much always screen ready. Except for this one. The world wasn't ready for Tommen's anti-beat agenda. This video is brought to you by my patrons. If you enjoy my channel and you want to support me further, please give me $5 per month in exchange for these perks. Early access, updates, your username immortalized right here, etc. Okay, thanks, back to the video now. These two finely dressed fellas are Sir Roland Crakehall of the Westerlands, and Sir Donald of Duskendale, not of the Darklands of Duskendale, but he lived there. Also, he's supposed to be a super ginger, but you can't get everything right, I suppose. Their armor is different than Game of Thrones, 80 years in the future, and House of the Dragon, 80 years in the past. This is by far the best Kingsgord armor on HBO. It's actually white for one thing. Also, the Kingsgord sigil on the chestplate is rad, and I like how these little flappy parts at the waist look like a dragon's wings. Also, the white padding they've got on reminds me of the shit they'd be wearing on Hoth. Complimentary. Can we talk about the cute little horn on top of their helmets though? I hope these are just for riding so they look like unicorns. Or are they piercing their opponents with them in the battlefield? Prussians used them in the 19th century. They're called pickelhaubes. This Kingsgord here is a background actor. We know that Sir Willem Wilde came to Ashford, so this could be him, although I always imagined he'd be a bit older. Willem became a Kingsgord shortly before the Blackfire Rebellion, which was 13 years ago at this point. So either this is Willem Wilde, or one of the other 3 Kingsgord who we don't have names for. Donald of Duskendale says he became a Knight of the Kingsgord the same way his family became crabbers. We know from Egg later on that Donald's father owns half the crabbing industry in Westeros. I wonder if this line means that Donald's family rose to riches by providing rich people with what they need. His father provided them with crabs, and Donald provides them with world-class knightly protection. Or, it could mean that Donald's father pushed all the other crabbers out of the industry by simply being better and buying them out, a little dash of capitalism. And so Donald became a Kingsgord by simply being a better knight, winning a ton of tourneys, proving his worth, etc. This is Lady Gwyn, the 15-year-old daughter of Lord Ashford. This entire tourney is being held to celebrate her birthday. I absolutely adore this little scene between her and Dunk, a complete invention of Ira Parker that works perfectly. This is how adaptations are meant to be done. Copy stuff from the source material that works, shave off the extra stuff, and invent new stuff as long as it improves the story. House of the Dragon does plenty of inventing, but not much improving. But this scene is playful, gives Gwyn some characterization, she calls Dunk big and stupid, which is canonically accurate, and I love it. Baelor and his brother Maekar are talking about Maekar's sons. Aerion is here, but Daeron and Aegon are missing. Maekar wants Daeron to become a proper knight and fight in this tourney. like how we see Baelor's son being a proper knight. Prince Valar, with his silver streak through his brown hair. Thank you. I think Maekar has more than a little bit of little brother complex. Baelor is this beloved, perfect man who the realm adores, and who Maekar can't live up to, so he's just sullen and prickly. Baelor has this perfect son who listens to him, and Maekar has Arion who's a fucking freak, and then 2 other sons who've ditched the tourney completely. I love a good sibling dynamic.
Tehran belongs on a tourney field no more than Ares or Rhaegal.
Woo! Yeah, baby! That's what I've been waiting for. That's what it's all about. Woo!
Baelor also brings up their other brothers, the ones in the middle. Aerys is second-born, and he's a book-reading dweeb. And Rhaegal is third-born, and he's purportedly insane, but not necessarily in a violent way, just in a dances around the Red Keep naked sort of way. Not really presentable to the public. Baelor also gives us some Arlan of Pennytree lore. This is from the book. Baelor's characterization is basically exactly how he acts in the book, and it's great. He's supposed to be this stark contrast to all the other Targaryens we've met on HBO. Viserys was evil, other Viserys was nice actually, but didn't have the strength of Baelor. Daemon's a freak, Rhaenyra is too, but she's nicer in the show than the book. You get my point. Baelor is this unique blend of humble, majesty, and martial prowess. Basically a perfect person. Anyways, you learn that Sir Arlan won a melee against Lord Stokeworth in King's Landing, and he unhorsed Daemon Lannister in a joust at Lannisport. We actually see Lord Daemon Lannister here, in a tilt against Leo Tyrell. And then Sir Arlan lost in a joust to Prince Baelor himself, at Storm's End, because Baelor is a Mary Sue who can never lose. I don't even mean that, but it's provocative. Jot that down. I'm gonna do a quick spoiler. Skip to this timestamp if you haven't read the book. Tanselle shows Egg how the fire trick works, and Egg already knows Pollen can do that. According to my own headcanon, Egg learned about Pollen being flammable like this from his big brother Aemon. Aemon's off in Old Town right now, learning to be a maester at the ripe old age of 11. But Aemon and Egg were close, so he probably taught Egg about Pollen's flammability. It's Steely Pate. I love that guy. My second favorite armorer in Westeros, second only to Donal Noy, of course. This dialogue between Dunk and Steely Pate is, again, straight from the book. Page to screen. Love it. If it ain't broke, don't break it. You might say, you've already read the book, so what's the point in having the actors recite the lines you've already read? Well, I guess that's a fair argument directed towards me, but the reason I care so much about accuracy is that the vast majority of viewers haven't read the book, and I want them to get all the George R.R. Martin goodness whether they know it or not. Also, it's just kinda weird to change George's writing. You seriously think you can do better than him? If you're Ryan Condal, then yes, you do think that. But you'd be wrong. By the way, Ryan, while I've got you here, can you ask HBO to quit copyright striking my videos? It's fair use. Love your work, by the way.
We're making this shit up.
Anywho, Steely Pate mentions his distaste for ugly sigils, specifically a pig with wings and fancy foreign fruit. The pig with wings is definitely House Suggs. There's a knight named Clayton Suggs who serves Stannis Baratheon. Justin Massey clears, by the way. And the fancy foreign fruit might refer to House Redwine, whose sigil has grapes. They make a lot of wine, so that's why grapes. But that's not really foreign, actually. House Merryweather's sigil is this cornucopia with a bunch of food falling out, some of which is fruit, but not all that foreign either. We know the Fossaway sigil is an apple, but apples are neither fancy nor foreign. I don't know, maybe I'm missing a really obvious one. If you know the house that Steely Pate is referring to, let me know in the comments. And while you're at it, check out my new second channel, Crusader Chris 2. I'm uploading stuff that doesn't really fit here on my main channel. GeoGuessr's fun. You can join the tens of other people who watch me do that. Fishboy here is Lord Medgar Tully, another brilliant invention by Ira Parker to have him bite this trout, although the symbolization could be read that the trout is dead and being savagely brutalized. Not really the message you want to send, but I guess Medgar isn't the sharpest lance. And I love this sequence of whoever this is jumping back onto his horse while it's running down the list. Owen Harris, your direction is snazzy AF. I mean, I can try to figure it out. The horse jumper is right here, we can tell by the helmet. On the far right, we see Andrew Ashford in that orange cloak. He's Lord Ashford's heir, Lady Gwyn's brother. Andrew matches up against Tybalt Lannister, heir of Casterly Rock. That's this guy on the opposite end here. To their left, we can see Medgar Tully's Trout Sigil, and he faces Humphrey Harding with the red diamonds here. Further left, we see Prince Valar and his opponent, which we know is Sir Abelar Hightower, heir to Oldtown. To their left, we see Lionel Baratheon and his antler helm, riding towards another Ashford, Sir Robert. Actually, this shot going in the other direction shows us Horsejumper's shield. It's Leo Tyrell, which means his opponent is Lord Daemon Lannister. So there's our 10 contestants for the first joust of the tourney. Alright, same time next week. Hopefully this one won't get Thanos snapped like my first one. Thanks for watching everybody, goodbye.